You know what's so crazy? The power of your mind. And wait, this isn't like cheesy or what you've heard a billion trillion times. I swear this will like alter, like it'll really sink in for you. One sec. Okay, bear with me because I'm trying to get ready at the same time. So I'm gonna be moving around a lot. Okay, so this is how freaking powerful your mind is for those that forgot. Um, and this is a little explicit, so trigger warning if this is a trigger warning, I don't really know. But anyway, pretty much, this is kind of the whatever. When I decided to lose my swipe my V card for the first time, okay, let me just tell you the insanity behind this. So, whatever. So, I decided to lose my V card, right? And it was so nuts because for 3 months, I did not feel anything. Okay, so yeah, I felt nothing for 3 months. Mind you, this was like first time, we were younger. So it was like, we were doing it multiple times a day. Nothing. So eventually I came to the conclusion, like I was getting mad. I felt mad because homeboy, super nice and a gentleman, and like he felt like it was him, and I was trying to tell him, like, no, I'm telling you, I feel nothing. And so I go to the doctor because I convinced myself that I'm just broken, just not a real woman, like all these thoughts. Oh, God. Okay, so pretty much I had moved out when I was 17. I left the house, so this was like around that era, okay? And so I went to a clinic, like a free clinic. Um, and it was just the craziest thing because I went in, the doctor examined me, like all this stuff. Um, and she was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "I just feel nothing. Like, I'm broken. Please help me. Like, I don't know, something's wrong." And I was like, literally crying. And I wish I knew her name. She literally changed my life. So, literally, she just like looked at me for a second and she was like, "Well, there's nothing, like, from what we examined so far, like, you're fine." And then she was like, "Are you religious?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am." By the way, just water. And I forgot where I left off. Oh, so I was like, "Yeah, I'm religious." And she was like, "That's your issue." But not in a way where she was like, "Don't be religious." She pretty much sat me down like a fucking mom. Because, sometimes people don't get taught things by their moms that they should have. But anyway, I digress. She was like, "Listen, I have I have 4 daughters, okay?" She was like, "I'm religious too." And she was like, "I've told every single one of my daughters that sex is good. Sex is okay. Sex isn't dirty or bad or," she was like, "You need to accept that. You need to accept that you are a sexual being." She said, "What I told my daughters is exactly what I'm going to tell you." She said, "When you feel like it's time to explore that part of yourself, that is your right. Obviously, make sure you're safe and, you know, don't be dumb." But she was just like, "You need to change your perspective on this type of intimacy." And that just shook me to my core. And she was absolutely right. Like, I did have a very jaded perception of intimacy in that way and touch in general. Like, I did not like to be touched. And from that day on, like, I kid you not, from that day on, it started to feel good. And pretty much she was like, the Bible, like the Christian Bible, talks about, waiting till marriage and you're a harlot or whatever if you engage in physical activity like that before. And she was like, you feel guilty. She was like, this is all guilt. It's literally all in your head. She was just like, obviously it's ideal for someone to wait till marriage in that community according to the Bible, but she was like, I do not want my daughters doing that. She was like, I told all four of them it's okay to experiment and figure out what you like and what you don't like. Might I add that was my goal. That was my goal, to wait till marriage. I was voluntarily going to church every single day. I used to ride my bike after school. I would ride my bike to church. I was in the women's group because I didn't really care for I wanted to learn real shit, I was the youngest one in there. Everyone was well over 30, but I learned so much and I loved that wisdom I was gaining from women and their experiences that I was shielded from, I guess, in my own home. But anyway, yeah, I just ever since then, I was like, okay, let's try this, and it started. I knew I wasn't broken anymore. That is your subconscious right there. It's something you can't necessarily pinpoint and see, and you think it's this, but really it's this. And it's all in your. Obviously, not everything can be like a switch like that. I mean, maybe it can. Sometimes you genuinely have to talk to yourself and tell yourself, this is okay. I like this. This isn't gonna hurt me. This is safe. You know what I mean? It can just take that. And everything can change. Literally talking to yourself. It's so easy. I feel like if I went to a disingenuous, is that a word? Doctor, they would have told me I needed a procedure, that I needed to be on this medication, that I needed to go get this, and this done. Maybe, you know what I mean? That's just incredible to me. And now, knowing what I know about my life and my past and my childhood, this makes even more sense to me because of what I experienced as a kid. I'd also like to point out, the fact that your mind can hold so strongly to a belief and alter your experience or your reality. You guys, that, I don't know, maybe that is insane. I held so strongly the belief that I would just rot in hell and that this was so dirty and bad and blah blah blah. And also, dude, my childhood. My childhood was not a good time. And that part of my body literally shut down. So I wasn't able to feel anymore because at that time it wasn't safe and it wasn't right. So I hope this can help someone.